Dallas Cowboys post-game show is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
The Cowboys season has come to an end. A lot of people might have guessed they wouldn't beat the Rams, but would not have guessed that it would happen the way it did. Hi, everybody. It's the Dallas Cowboys post-game show. Welcome back to the L.A. Memorial Coliseum. Brad, Sham, Babe Laufenberg. Cowboys lose by a score of 30-22, and if you'd said the Rams were going to throw it around and run up some offense, people would have expected that. Don't know that they would have expected for the Rams to run for almost 250 yards, and really that be the way they won the game.
And you say run up some offense, that's exactly what they did. They ran, and you're exactly right. Jared Goff did not throw a touchdown pass. And if you said at the start of the game, the guy isn't going to throw a touchdown pass, I'd say how many did the Cowboys win by? But obviously they could not stop the run. They couldn't stop it when Todd Gurley was in the ball game. They couldn't stop it when C.J. Anderson was in the ball game, and that was the undoing.
And the other thing they couldn't do was run the ball. They were supposed to be able to run against the Rams' run defense, and Zeke Elliott had less than 50 yards.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call it shocking, but I would call it surprising. And I know part of the Cowboys' game plan, as it is each and every week when you have Zeke Elliott in the backfield, is to pound the ball, and they just weren't able to get that done today.
Let's hear some of the post-game thoughts from Cowboys head coach Jason Garrett.
We just did not do a good enough job defending the run, obviously. They're a physical football team. I think there's a little bit of a misperception about how the Rams play offensive football. It starts with the run, and they do an outstanding job week in and week out, and we just didn't do a good enough job controlling the line of scrimmage, winning our gaps, and tackling. And unfortunately for us, they were able to run the ball consistently throughout the ball game. They controlled the pace and the tempo of the game really because of that. They were committed to stopping our run. They had a lot of people around the line of scrimmage, and that's what they were going to do. When we were in 3 wide receiver sets, they were staying in base defense, and they just wanted to stop the run. And that gave us some opportunities in the passing game that we're able to take advantage of. Obviously, we're at our best, and we're balanced, and we're throwing it and running it. But they were committed to stopping the run, and we had to run them out of that. And at times, we did a good job of that.
Jason, you didn't run back on a run play until like 5 minutes ago in the fourth quarter. Would you have wanted to run Houston running game earlier?
Yeah, again, we've talked about this a lot during the year. A number of those plays get called, and sometimes they become handoffs in the game. It's been a big part of what we do, and we'll continue to use that as we go forward. Not every game is he going to get a ton of carries based on what the defense is playing.
4th and 1 play that they stopped. You had success the first 2 times. What were you trying to get to there on that 4th?
Yeah, it's been a signature play for us. We've been very successful over the years, with that idea, double teams at the point of attack and giving Zeke a chance to make the yard. And he's done that time and time again throughout his career, and they did a good job stopping us on that one.
Jason, what's your message to the team? What do you say after a loss?
Incredibly proud of our football team. You talk about mental toughness and physical toughness. They demonstrated that the whole year. A young football team that grew a lot over the course of 16 games and a couple games in the playoffs. I think we learned from our experiences. I think we grew. I think we got tougher. I think we became a more hardened football team. I think a lot of young guys grew up, and they grew up together. And those are really positive things that we can build on. The Rams are a better team than we were today. They were. And I don't question our effort, our toughness, our fight. Those guys put it all out there. It inspires me. The hair stands up on the back of my neck when I talk about them and think about them. Everything they put out there is something else. And I love the group of guys we have. They care about each other. They love each other. They love this game. They go about it the right way. All things that we can build on for the future. At times, Amari did a really good job. Obviously, on the first drive, he had the big touchdown for us and came back a few other times throughout the game. So he's a good football player. We like to get him involved. I thought Michael Gallup did a lot of good things in the ball game as well. So we're at our best when we spread the ball around. Each of those guys, they're a big part of what we did in the passing game.
Those are the thoughts of Jason Garrett. Before the game, Jerry Jones was quoted as indicating that they would be wrapping up an extension for the Cowboys head coach pretty soon. Can't imagine anything that happened in this game would change that plan, can you?
I don't think so. And again, it's a very young football team. should be getting better next year. And I think the one thing you got to remember too, Brad, and I don't mean you, but you plural, Dak Prescott's in his third year. You know, he's just coming into his fourth year there. He's still getting his feet wet in the NFL. I know he's played a lot of football games, but he's going to get better. So you talk about the extension for the head coach. It looks like, too, Jerry Jones had indicated previously that they'll get Dak Prescott done as well.
And speaking of the Cowboys quarterback, we'll hear from him when the Cowboys postgame show continues. Welcome back to the LA Coliseum. It's Cowboys postgame show. Brad Sham, Babe Laufenberg. Cowboys fall to the Rams in the divisional playoff game, 30-22. Their season is over. The Rams advance to the NFC Championship game, and the Cowboys quarterback tonight, Dak Prescott, in his second divisional playoff game, goes 20 for 32 for 266 yards and a touchdown, ran for one, didn't throw an interception, had a quarterback rating of 99.2 if you're scoring at home. Let's hear some of the postgame thoughts of Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I mean, not anything I can pinpoint right now. I wish I could. I wish we could have during the game, obviously, to try to fix that and avoid going one for 10, as you said. But you can't win games, especially games like this, crucial games like this, when you have that stat on third down. It's important to keep drives going. It keeps the defense well rested, keeps us on the field, and allows us to have a chance of scoring. When you don't do that, it's hard. It's hard.
You face defenses that try to take away Zeke and make you guys undimensional. What made them successful during that tonight in the first half specifically?
Yeah, I mean, you just said it. They did a good job up front, just with their fronts, playing base front, the big guys that they have. I mean, you got to credit this team we play. The guys that they have up front, the guys that they have on their defense, just their whole team. So they did a good job. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to right now at this moment. It's been a great season, obviously, just all the ups, all the downs. The team that we had are 3-5 and being counted out by everyone, but backs against the wall mentality, the way we were able to fight just to get to where we are right now is inspiring and incredible. All the men on this team, I'm proud of this team, but anytime you lose, especially when you know the team that we have and as close as we felt we were, it's not a good feeling.
You missed a huge opportunity here.
Yeah, I mean, as I just said, we had a good team. And when you know you have a good team like this and you feel so confident about the team you have, the defense that we have, yeah, definitely just simple as that, miss an opportunity and you don't know when you get them back.
It's almost shocking to see this defense give up 200-yard rushers. Obviously, the defense has been great for you guys this season, but tonight it was a real struggle.
I mean, I've got my defenses back no matter what. I understand that was a struggle today. I think they would all say that the same. But they've had our back all year long when we've struggled. When we failed from putting up points to keep us in the game, they're the ones that always had our back and kept us in the game and given us a chance to win all year long. So, I mean, I'll ride with those guys any day of the week.
Does it feel like some of those games earlier in the season where you guys fell behind early and you sort of had to put it on your arm to get back into these games late?
I mean, I don't think that's exactly correct. I mean, yeah, we kind of fell back early in this game, but we're able to get back into it. Defense made a stop there in the third quarter. We were able to make it a touchdown game. We just didn't get it done on fourth down, and I think that really changed the game right there. You get that. I mean, we're still running the ball. We're throwing the ball. We're doing everything, and it's not, hey, we got to drop back and throw it every single time. So we just weren't able to execute when we needed to, and it hurt.
If you want to look at the positives out of this thing, Dak Prescott gets another playoff game under his belt, so he's got 3 now, and you keep stacking those up. The one thing that was disappointing for me, the Cowboys defense didn't stop him at the end of the game, give the Cowboys a chance to get the ball back. But I'd love to see what would have happened with the ball in Dak Prescott's hands, down 8. It would have been without a timeout, but you had about $130 in there, and it was just set up for a fantastic finish.
Remember, it was 20-7 at halftime and finished 30-22. It was another big second-half comeback for Dak Prescott. More from L.A. when the Cowboys postgame show continues. Welcome back to the LA Coliseum on the Cowboys postgame show. 30-22, the Rams win the divisional game. Brad Sham, Babe Laufenberg, joined by Cowboys safety Jeff Heath. We said a few minutes ago, if you told us the Rams won the game, we would understand why someone said that. If you told us that they did it without Jared Goff throwing a touchdown pass and they rushed for 273 yards, that would have been a surprise to me. What are your thoughts about how all that happened?
Yeah, it was disappointing. We went into the game knowing that making them one-dimensional, stopping the run was going to be very important, and we didn't give our team a chance tonight. Obviously, they were running the ball way too easily on us, and just couldn't stop them on third down. It's disappointing.
Everybody talks about halftime adjustments, and I always say if you wait till halftime, it's usually too late. But they were able to run the ball consistently throughout. What were some of the adjustments that you were trying to make, and did they do anything differently than what you saw on tape?
No, a lot of the stuff that they did is stuff we practiced. We made a couple different adjustments, how we were some line stunts and how we were lining up some formations, but at the end of the day, we didn't execute. And I thought we had a great week of practice preparing against them. We went to the game very confident, and we just didn't show up, and we just didn't play well enough. So really disappointing.
How do you view this season? Because I was talking to Brad before you came on. I said, if I had told you you're going to win the division, you're going to win a playoff game, and lose in the divisional round, I said, would you have taken that? So from your perspective, how do you view this?
I didn't answer him. I wanted more qualifications.
So how do you view this season?
That's a tough question to answer right now. Obviously, we're just really disappointed. So everything feels worse, at a time like this. So I don't really want to reflect too much on the season right now. I guess we'll go home and, take some time to kind of digest everything. And obviously making the playoffs is one of our goals, and we were able to do that. So, we gave ourselves a chance to, make some noise, but
Let's try one more time from a different perspective. Young team, and you've been through this a little bit, but the arrow seems to be pointing up. Once you rest up and get this taste out of your mouth, it feels to me like there would be reason to really look forward to next year for this team.
Yeah, I think, we have the right group of guys, and, we have the right leaders on the team, coaches, players, all that. So, but it's going to be somewhere we're going to have to start over. You get to this point in the season, you work so hard to get to this point, and then it just ends, and you got to, when we show back up, you're starting from square one, and we got a lot of work to do again to hopefully get to this point and beyond next year. So, that's about it.
All right, well, no one works harder than you, Jeff. We appreciate the time very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
There's Jeff Heath. Cowboys postgame show continues in a moment. Welcome back to the LA Coliseum. Brad, Sham, Babe Laufenberg. It's the Cowboys postgame show. 30-22 Rams, the final score. We're joined by Cowboys center Joe Looney. What an unforgettable year for you, including right up until the end of this. And one of the most unusual things about this game is that what the Cowboys have been able to do all year is run the ball and stop the run. Tonight, that didn't happen. Just tell me about, from your side's perspective, what were some of the difficulties in running the ball?
Well, first of all, they got a good defense. I mean, that front they got that they built here, they're solid and they do a great job. And, they're not only great players, but they, give high effort every play. They don't quit. And, that always makes it tough.
Coming into this game, looking at tape, why have other teams been able to run the ball effectively on these guys? Because you look at it, and as I said, they're 3 of the 4, they're all top 15 picks and great players.
Right. I think they executed their game plan, and today the Rams were a better team than us today, and we didn't come out and we didn't execute well enough. We didn't do things good enough to win a playoff game in the NFL. As hard as it is to win a game in the NFL, it's even harder in the playoffs. And those inches, every play matters. And they did what they had to do to win.
And you didn't have enough plays to kind of keep pounding the ball and get Zeke. He ended up with 15 carries, but part of that was you 1 of 10 on third down. So, and they were all manageable third downs. You never got to third and double digits. So why do you think you struggled on third down today?
It goes back. I just think we didn't execute on those critical downs. And anytime you have a stat like that on third down, it's going to be really hard to win a football game. And especially against a good team. And they did a good job, they beat us today. They beat us today.
You came into the year expecting to fulfill the role that you had fulfilled the last couple of years and played every snap. And I don't know how much more people could have expected from you than you gave. I'm interested in your thoughts about what the year of growth was like, what the opportunity to play every snap of the season was like for you.
Right. First things first, I'm so blessed to play this game, that I love. And, to be around the guys that I'm around every day in this locker room, it's truly amazing. But, honestly, this season, it was kind of like my rookie season playing. I learned so much. And, it was great to get out there and get all that experience. And, I'm just going to try to do whatever it takes to help my team, win ball games.
So walk through the folks at home. What happens kind of from this point to when we'll all see you again at OTAs? And I'm assuming you won't be in the weight room tomorrow.
No, I don't think so.
So what happens now? How do you kind of unwind a little bit and then rev it back up to get started on another year?
Right. So you definitely got to take some time off. You got to get your body right, get yourself mentally right, and usually take about 2 weeks off, just to relax and hang out with the family, and then you're back into the grind. You're working out, you're doing your cardio, and then you come back for OTAs and another year starts.
So you're saying you're only taking 2 weeks and you'll be back at it trying to get...
Oh yeah, you have to. It's the NFL. There's always somebody training, to come take your job.
Yeah.
So you can't take the opportunity lightly, just being happy, being here.
For the record, Brad and I are going to take 3 weeks off before we start.
You guys deserve it.
Joe, so do you. We appreciate the time.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so
There's
much.
Joe Looney. Cowboys postgame show continues in a moment. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Final Cowboys postgame show of the season. Brad, Sham, Babe Laufenberg. Season ends in the divisional round again. Babe Laufenberg, you've been on playoff teams. Some of them your team was in the last game of the year.
Yeah.
Some of them not so much. I'll ask you what you just asked Joe Looney. What happens now?
To this football team?
And, these guys,
Yeah.
I mean, they were, after a horrible first half, they got close. If they'd had one more possession tonight, who knows what would have happened.
Well, yeah, and I think you, like any team, you kind of finish the season, you lick your wounds a little bit, especially playoff teams that get eliminated. You lick your wounds and you feel a little bit sorry for yourself. And they're undoubtedly all the guys that were playing on a consistent basis, they're beat up. I'll never forget doing a radio show with Daryl Johnston one year, and he's about 6 years in the league. And one of the audience people said, well, you've been lucky you've never been hurt. And I said, whoa. He has surgery after every offseason. So you play through a lot of things. As Joe Looney said, you go back, you get your mind right, you get your body right, and then you get ready to ramp it up again.
There's a lot, though, I think, by way of wrapping a bow around it, to look forward to for this team going forward. They need to make some improvements, but they've got a lot to build on.
I think it's definitely promising. You got a young quarterback. You got one of the top running backs. You got a few pieces, and here you go.
Have a good offseason, everybody. Babe and I will see you next year. For our crew, for Babe Laufenberg, I'm Brad Sham, and that from Los Angeles is tonight's Dallas Cowboys postgame show.
The Dallas Cowboys postgame show was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. Want to tour AT&T Stadium? For more information, call 817-892-TOUR.